Alright, we'll call this meeting to order on October 21st, at 7:02 p.m. and establish a quorum. Tim Neichmeyer, Jeff Howard, Todd Summers, Jerry Stevens, and Abigail Beadle. Also is our bookkeeper, Nancy Pepper. Thank everybody for showing up. Is there the sign-up list? Patrick, you mind bringing it to us?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm doing right now.
Patrick, are you satisfied with the coffee you've been presented?
It is good coffee, yes, sir.
Yeah, what's that leg on your table?
It's about time that, you know,
So right now, the only person that's gonna talk is Patrick. Anybody else who's considering themselves present, will sign in. Something for the night. Approval of the minutes. Abigail put out the minutes, as soon as all members, and everybody have a chance to review those. Is there any corrections, additions? The minutes? If not, I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes from previous meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, that brings us to the treasurer's report.
Okay, you all have the treasurer's report. This is as of September 30th, which is the end of our year. It will be the report that the auditors start working on. We ended the year just about 5% short of what we expected to get in income for taxes, that is. Most of that was from the shortages in delinquent taxes. That's really hard to know who's gonna pay their delinquent taxes, you know, but, and then we ended with $484,000 in sales tax. And you pretty much knew that because at the last meeting, you approved the amended budget, which up at the top where it says the budget, I put as amended, because there were a few changes. One was that we added $100,000 to the sales tax. All the other expenses are pretty much right on line. They're either right at the zero, which is where they should be, or they're, you know, a little bit short, which is a good thing. The tax collector's fee was a little bit short of what we estimated, just 6%. The other things, like we have public notices, that was a whole lot more than we expected. We paid $600 last year, it was $1,000 this year, so it's.
my sister. She's
Yeah, you better get her.
terrible.
So we ended the year with $970,000 in income and $501,000 in expenses, which left us $469,000 before the other expenses that we had, which was the repair of the engine, the shower work that's still ongoing. We paid for some testing of the hoses that was done. We had put in an estimate for forensic audit, which will be next year. And then all the money that we paid extra on the firehouse stuff, which was $188,000. So we ended the year with $270,000 income over expenses, which is really good for the year. If you turn on, sorry,
Question?
go ahead.
So, for the forensic audit estimate, that'll just carry over?
Yes, it's gonna be on the thing, cause it was a non-budget item, so to speak. A true budget only shows the things that you have in your budget, but we try to do a budget plus a cash flow type thing. So at the bottom, you can see other things that we spent that would not hit a profit and loss statement normally. All of those things are reclassified by the auditors when they get ready to do them, and they show them against whatever they, you know, like the note payments. They're put in against the note payment, but I put them here so that you know that that's how much money you spent.
Gotcha.
Okay. On the back, you see the standing of the INS account at the end of the year. We had $91,000 that came in against the $99,000 that we were expecting. Again, that was mostly because of the delinquent taxes. We were 4.5% short in the current collections. And then that was the money that was paid against the firehouse note and the interest. This was what came out of the INS account, not necessarily what was, it was plus that other. So it shows that we were $37,000 short, which it was fine, because that's what we expected. We paid the note off, you know, we paid that extra $35,000 on the note. At the bottom, you see that even after all those expenses, we have $491,000 in our bank account on the operating account, starting the month of October. $107,000 in the money market account, and the INS account ended with $3,600 after we paid out the $35,000 for the firehouse note. We had tax revenue that came in October for $40,387, and I left the firehouse loan balance there so you can see it's nothing. It's gone, it's away. For payments that were in October, the regular payments are there for the, you know, electric, the water, the telephone, the Republic Services, and then Mesquite, myself. But then you'll notice Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates, that's the $11,000. I have an invoice from them. They finished the audit, they'll present it to us next month. They would have done it tonight if they weren't already scheduled for another audit somewhere else. And then Jerry took care of having the ice machine worked on, and we have the bill for that. That was $1,200. And then Chief Cook presented us with the invoice for the vehicle insurance on our trucks to carry them to the 1st of January when their insurance will take over. So they could pay it or we could pay it, but we're responsible for it, so we pay it. Whether we would pay it and then reimburse them, you know, they'd pay it and reimburse, but I went on and put it down and.
As a clarification, so that puts them on our policy. Nothing changes in January, other than the total annual invoice will then come in January.
Yes,
So that moved them to our policy.
okay.
And so that was the amount to complete the end of the billing cycle for this year. So we pay a year at a time.
So that's like $1,600 from now to the end of December for
Yes,
those
ma'am.
vehicles.
And so, yeah, nothing changes in January. They are on our policy and we're covering them.
Yeah.
That's just the invoice for that.
So they'll be taken care of there. So the total expenses at this time is $16,010. I will mention that there are some residual bills that have come in for the fire department, and we can discuss those at a later time, whether you want us to pay them or, you know, get the fire department board to take care of them. We can discuss those when we're ready to do that.
Okay.
Questions
Motion to
on?
accept the treasurer's report and pay the bills. $16,010.29.
Motion to accept the treasurer's report and pay the bills.
Second.
You gotta say any, okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
I do have one other thing just before we go into the software. Tonight I do have the engagement letters for, which one we'll talk about later, but I put that under mine. The engagement letter for our audit for 24-25. I have the engagement letter and that needs to be signed, and some other, you know, letters that go out to the banks and all, asking them to give the, you know, to give the auditors permission to ask for the reports from them. So we need really a motion if you still want to engage Armstrong, Vaughn and Associates to do our 24-25 audit.
Make a motion, yeah, for all the 24-25 year.
A motion to allow Armstrong and Bond to continue to do our audits and to do upcoming 24-25. Do I have a second?
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Are those just, I have a question of that, are they the ones also that's gonna be doing potentially the forensic audit, or will we do it with another auditor?
We can do either. They're prepared to do it if we want them to. That's the ones we've talked with about doing it. And the audits that they're doing at this time is kind of prep work for, in case they do that. It would also help another auditing firm if they were to do it. But their price is probably $25,000 to $50,000 less than the other company we talked to.
Okay,
Because they're doing our other audits, they're very familiar with everything that's there already.
I understand that, I just don't know if there would be somebody else looking at it that might find something that they may overlook.
And we can
That's why I asked.
talk about that, especially after you get the report on the 22-23, you'll see what they found there. And then when you get the 23-24, that will be pretty much the period of time that has been looked at. So you could decide at that time if you wanted another auditing firm to come in to do forensic
You
audit.
can have them come in and talk to us. Well, they will anyway, so
Well,
they'll present the
I
audit.
think that would be important.
They'll do that anyway, if they present the audit.
When they come next month, if y'all want to schedule them for next month, they will go over everything that they found.
Yeah.
Plus, it'll be in your draft that you see.
Okay. Any further discussion? No, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Found the folks too. And then the other thing that we discussed, that we, you know, all of you know that, I need to move from QuickBooks, desktop to QuickBooks Online. However, I think it'd be better for it to be under the ESD's name, so that anytime anybody else comes on, they can, take over. Because online, from what I understand, I have not worked with it that much. Everybody assures me I'm gonna be able to do it. From what I understand, you go into intuit.com and you sign in, and that accesses your file. So whoever has the sign-on has permission to go into it.
I assume it's just like the one I'm using it for my business.
So-
Yeah, I log in online and it.
Yeah.
So we use the online, we use QuickBooks Online, and you can give different levels of access to everyone. So you can have people who can edit it, you can have people who can just view it, pull reports, you can, as long as you have internet, you can get to it.
Yeah.
So let me explain the differences between what we have. They're what they call their simply basic is the basic plan. It would give us everything that we need as far as reports, being able to, because basically what we do is log in our deposits and our checks, and then we run financial statements off of it. As far as the reporting, I take that and put it into an Excel worksheet for you so that you see the budget at the same time. If that will cost, right now they have a 50% off per month. So right now, it costs you for the next 3 months, $19 a month, and then it would go up to $38 a month. After that, you get into what they call the plus, and that gives you a whole lot more reports. You can put in your budget and do comparisons and things like that. However, it right now costs $57 a month, and it would go up to $111 a month.
I think I would defer to you, you're the one using it. If you think the basics all you need.
I've talked to the auditors. They actually sent me a bunch of stuff that shows all the reports. This front and back is all the reports that it has that you can get. Even if we don't ever expect to have payroll, but if it ever came to that point, you can add payroll as an add-on to the basic as well as the deluxe or any of them. And so I would think for the cost right now, because you can always upgrade if you want to.
Chief, could you mention that y'all had an extra accounts that we could use or no?
Well, so, not for the company, so we could do, like, we're creating, that's gonna be a question on how we handle financials, and I know that's been some kind of a back and forth on how the financials are handled and what's paid by this board versus what's paid as part of a contract. And so if the daily operational expenses are gonna be paid by this board, which is what I kind of assumed from the last time I've heard that, in some of the discussions, and all of it can be done. So whichever way we choose to go, whatever this board is comfortable with. You'll want the one where we can do purchase orders and actually create a chart of account where, you know, she could still issue a purchase order, but she can't write checks, you know, and so there's different things where you're all kind of being able to see it. I'll find out which one we use, but you don't need a bunch of license, but there's a few different options where, you know, you have your people who can actually edit it versus view only. Like, we do a lot of view onlys for all of our ESD board has a view-only login if they choose to wanna get in. They can't screw it up, you know, if you don't know, you can't change it.
Right.
But I think the decision on which one to purchase is gonna be driven by the business model of how we're gonna operate. And if we're gonna prepare purchase orders and checks for this board to sign, or basically purchase orders, and I know Ms. Pepper's still preparing the checks, because, and that was one of the questions I had was, you know, we have a very defined purchasing and purchase order process that gets a defined purchase order in the system. So when the invoice comes in, we already know that it was approved and what it was about, what it was for. And so it's probably gonna be the second one. Yeah, we won't ever have payroll, that's fine. We actually don't use payroll in ours, we use a payroll company. But
The biggest difference is that on the simple, you have one user, but an accountant can get in.
Yeah.
He's not considered a user. On the second one, you can have 5 users.
you'll probably
That,
be fine.
again, as you define their usage, whether they can actually get in there and run a check or something, or whether they can just view. So that's pretty much up to y'all which one you think we need to have.
And this decision needs to be made now. I mean, I don't know when you're, no
Well,
longer can use your other
it
system.
started as of October.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have access to the desktop until the end of November. I still am gonna have to transfer everything over, you know, and they've already said that some of it may not transfer, and that's why you check, you know, you run a balance sheet and what have you, reports off of one, and then the same reports off the other once the transfer's done, to see what didn't come over. But, the auditors assure me that, you know, one, it's gonna be fine to work with, it's exactly what they work with too. But I don't know if you want other people to have access to, I'm talking about mainly the one that we are using for ours. And then if they set it up where we actually issue the checks, and we would be issuing the check to them for payroll, for sure, on a quarterly basis or whatever. But if we actually pay the bills ourselves based on a purchase order system, or whether they do it, we reimburse them, we're still gonna be writing our checks ourselves. So,
Do you want to table that to next meeting? Do you have till the end of November, like November?
yeah, but, I don't wanna have to
There's
hurry
a
in
transition
November to
process.
get everything
That
done.
transition from desktop to online
I think she needs to.
will take some time. You're gonna need the second one.
Okay, so that would be,
My suggestion is to you, you're gonna need the second one if you're planning to pay the bills directly.
I'll make a motion to accept.
So then,
Hold on a minute.
it's only gonna be like 1,000,
it,
around 1,000?
It's-
111 a month.
it's, 57.50 times 2, so 115, I guess. That's what's gonna be per month after the first 3 months. It'll be 57.50 for the first month. And by the way, I have to set it up as an automatic payment. They don't wanna wait for me to
Of
write a
course.
check and what have you, so.
What are y'all using?
QuickBooks Essential?
Are y'all doing a transfer?
No.
Don't hook it up to a credit card and gets frauded and gets deleted, and you forget to update it.
No, what we're,
QuickBooks, and then your payroll doesn't go out.
what we're gonna do is, we're paying the bills that come in on a monthly basis, utilities and stuff like that, and phone. But what the potential agreement that we're gonna have with ESD1 is they're gonna take care of all of the bills and maintenance and all of that stuff.
The operational cost.
Yes, and so we're staying in essentials because I don't like because once you're in the cloud, you're in the cloud forever. They own you. Desktop is your baby. My understanding is QuickBooks is gonna keep doing essentials desktop, and so
Well,
we're gonna
when
renew those
when you're
licenses.
on desktop, just to tell you what it's changed, I used to be able to get it every 3 or 4 years for $200 or $250, something like that. And then you could run it for several years before you wanted to update it again. And they serviced it, you didn't have any problem. Then they went to subscription in 2023. They told me that in order to get my subscription, I had to pay $775.
For a 3-year subscription.
No, 1 year.
Oh,
Last year-
we're paying that for a 3-year subscription.
Last year, they came back and said I had to pay $995, and this year it's gonna be $1,042. They've
For
already
essentials?
told- No, for desktop professional.
Yeah, so we're using Desktop Essentials is what we're using.
See-
And that's what I'm running on our computer.
And I did that because I do books for a living, so I have
Right.
several companies on there at the same time, but, and I can't even stay on it for my other companies, there's no way.
It's just a write-off for you.
I don't make that much money. A lot of it's free.
It's not that much. If we need to keep it separate, then we need to keep it separate.
Okay. So you're gonna go with which one? Desktop?
Plus.
It's called Plus, Desktop
Desktop
Plus,
Plus?
not Desktop.
QuickBooks.
QuickBooks Plus,
QuickBooks Plus?
yeah, QuickBooks Online Plus. You wanna,
So I had a motion, Jeff, have a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second, any further discussion?
Is that, cancel at any time? Just out of curiosity. Is
I
there a
don't-
fee for that, or?
I
like, say
guess
we-
if you're
we get down
paying
the
monthly
road-
and you don't pay, you can cancel.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's a contract as such.
It will quit
Just out of
working, I
curiosity.
promise.
The downside is with cloud, you can't back that stuff into desktop.
No,
It's almost impossible, so if you quit paying, you lose your information.
you can do a backup to a disk,
Flash drive? Flash drive?
a flash drive.
5.25 floppy.
Flash drive.
Right, Ken.
Flash drive it.
Flash drive, yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to ESD1, financial report, run report, fleet report, other.
Just kinda,
We haven't introduced.
No, I was gonna ask, we gonna do introductions?
So, I'll start with that. And we, so, as part of the agreement, we talked about we were gonna get an administrative assistant that could support both districts, support Chief Powers, support everything going on down here. We did an application process, and we were happy to offer a position to Miss Stephanie Earl. So we're glad Ms. Beadle sat in on the process with us. We had several qualified candidates. But Ms. Earls brings kind of a unique scope to us because not only does she have the background in some business management and accounting and bookkeeping, she's also a volunteer firefighter. And so she's licensed to drive fire trucks, she's sort of, and so all of this other, just extra. And so
All right.
she,
Don't blush, don't blush.
so when something comes in, she speaks the language already,
Yeah.
and so it was even a better fit. And she grew up a little in Moore, or has been in Moore for a long time.
Yes.
I'll let you
About-
continue with anything else that.
I've been in Moore about 21 years now, so longer here than I grew up. I grew up at the coast in Ingleside, but I got here as fast as I can because I don't like the beach. But anyway, my husband is a local of Moore, and I'm sure y'all all know him. Our last name's not very uncommon, or not very common. And we love the fire service. I love what I do. I'm glad to be back in it on the administrative side. So I appreciate the opportunity to work with Chief Powers and Chief Cook and all of y'all along with ESD4. So, thank you.
Great, welcome.
So, sorry, we should have probably.
How are you in silent showers?
There we go.
I can do sheetrock. I've never done toilet showers. We'll just leave it at that.
Just ask him for a friend.
Yes, sir.
close enough.
I'm doing two.
So, financial report, I'll let her go ahead and go in on that.
We've received some invoices from Devine Fire, I'm just assuming. And I went through them today and made a little spreadsheet to where I could identify what they were. Chief Powers and I went over some, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 of them that do not look like they've been paid at all. So maybe with y'all's help, I can tell y'all, show y'all. I didn't make copies of them for everybody, but I can pass them along to y'all, kind of tell you what they are. I have 3 from Metro Fire, and I actually spoke to the office at Metro Fire today. These are from July 31st of this year. Not one of them is paid. They're showing past due in their account.
We talking about dollars total on everything.
I didn't add that. That was my next step. So Metro Fire is probably about $8,000. There's a water machine, it looks like, that's $70. A fuel bill that's $78, an Aflac bill for somebody who is not here anymore on the Devine Fire side for $101, 1 month is past due. And then I have Sam's registration at $600 and MedTech for some medical supplies for Fire EMS Academy for $154.
Now, the one problem with some of these is getting the difference between the VFD bills and the ESD bills. So we had to go over that today and kind of figure out which one was which.
Yeah.
We also have a bill that came in from Napa where they actually leased their building and they have about $485 past due there from 3 different months where they just picked up, you know.
Charges?
Yeah, different supplies for their trucks and what have you. The last one was windshield wiper fluid and another one was, you know, some spark plug, I don't know.
The
something.
majority of it was for the mud flap, the lights, and all that on the rescue truck.
That was
from the-
400 something for that stuff.
Sam's
My
Club?
question is I'm a little
Not the store that you're thinking.
confused that, you know, we have a contract with them, and my understanding is there's still quite a bit of money sitting in the account, the ESD2 account. So why aren't they getting paid?
Just not getting processed.
Is that because anybody have any,
You got board members here.
yeah, I'm saying insight into that? Was it because the bookkeeper left or what? I mean, I don't know, I'm just curious.
This is, so, yes, we basically don't have a bookkeeper at this time, so this is actually the first, me and Mr. Henry have heard of this. But we can take a look at them, and there are funds available. We don't have the financial report with us, we didn't all make it tonight. But we can get that for next
So
time.
I don't know exactly what they are, but I mean, it sounds like these are all things that should have been inside the Devine Volunteer Fire Department's budget, and so therefore should have been paid through the funds that we gave them. Because we generally don't pay for, the things we pay for outside of that are additional, outside of the budget, they come to us that was not budgeted for. This all sounds to me like stuff that should have been budgeted for.
We believe it is, and it's just a timing thing at this point. Ms. Earl's we just moved her over here for
Oh.
the training, and so she hasn't had a chance
That's
to get
fine.
with the ESD2.
Only reason I ask those questions is
To
because
Devine.
Devine Fire should have been handling all this
100%.
months ago.
Yeah, and so, give us a chance to get with them, that board, and we'll figure out how we can help that board make sure the bills are paid, and whatever we need to do to assist. As far as the financials from that, we haven't been here a full month yet to have a month's worth of financials
I get that.
for you.
Okay.
So we'll have a defined report each month. It just,
Yeah.
We haven't given you any money yet.
Right, and we have, well, we've expanded some, we just haven't gone through a whole month of
It's
reporting,
just,
right?
I
So,
won't deny that it's just a little irritation
Yeah.
that rubs me raw when we find out that we have bills that are unpaid from July, that's part of the contract.
yeah, and so to be clear, the folks, we've had conversations that they're eager to want to make sure all this is taken care of at work. So we'll get it taken care of and we'll report back on that.
Do you have a financial report? You don't have it with you tonight, Matt, but do you have something that you're gonna send us?
I can tell you that, the bank statement, we drew that down for September. But what we couldn't do is, reconcile, the month for QuickBooks, because, in my case, all I had was view. And it was a couple of weeks ago that, Eric, gave me, permission to be able to run the reports and things like that. The problem is that there's a certain way that it has to be done, and it looks like it's real simple. It says there reconcile, and it says per month. You put in reconcile, you put in the month, and it gives you all kinds of different things. So I wish I knew more,
I can help you with
regarding
that,
but,
Henry.
if we can, yeah, if you could help out with that, then that would be great, because we wanna give you what you need in order for us to be able to, review
Can I ask you, do y'all have two signers still on your board that are current
Yes,
signers on the
yes, ma'am,
bank
both of
accounts?
Which one is ESD's account? Do you know? Oh, I'm gonna assume that's this one right here, I see it right now.
On the minutes that you sent out, it showed that the ESD account had like
Yeah, okay.
86,000 or something, and your regular account had 159,000. That's what your
Yeah,
report
that's
showed for September.
On the M&O account, M&O account, I think they're dropped down to like 86. And the one that, the ESD has around, on the last one that I saw, it had around 41,000.
No, I'm just saying that's what was said in your
Oh.
September minutes, and that
Yeah.
might have been at the end of August.
Yeah, and I'm talking about, I just saw that a couple of weeks ago.
Working
What's
out.
that number?
Figure it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's the number?
So when they gave us their when we were here last month, they told us the balance
we gotta
was
do it for them
86,
also.
726, and they're saying that the statement that we have for the end of September shows an ending balance of $41,316.30.
Right.
That's what I thought I remembered.
ESD account.
They had, there was 80,000 in the account last month, and there
Right.
was 40,000 pending, correct? Something
guess that's
similar
what
to
they-
that?
Something like that, yeah, because the balance in the account right now is around 41,000.
That is correct, that's what
Yes,
it's
sir.
showing right here.
Okay, yeah.
And all those totals, those didn't total up to that, so.
All right.
Just give us a month to help us get that straightened out.
Get that worked out.
We'll get a,
I realize y'all don't have a financial report, you said it hasn't been a month, and we haven't sent you anything yet, so
And
we
I
haven't
got-
completely worked out what we're doing. Correct.
And most of those I just got yesterday.
Yeah.
So they
That's fine.
just,
Thank you.
here you go, and so,
We like it to be brought to our attention.
and we wanna start on a clean slate.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it makes me feel good, there's money there to pay it, it's just a matter of getting it
And
done.
that's our main
Yeah.
intent.
Okay.
Sorry, Stephanie, you can interrupt that.
Nope, I'm good, I'm done.
And I think I gave you all a copy. It's kind of limited just because we started the full crew on October 1st, but pretty eventful month. We had 28 responses for a little bit at the end of September and then into October. Good thing was is we averaged 6.42 minutes per our response time. That's from tone to on scene, 6.5 minutes. So, had the 2 members staffed every day, including, and also me. One big thing that we started a couple months ago talking about ISO and stuff like that, was our own pre-incident planning. So we started north end of 173 and we're working our way down. So we've actually made it all the way down to here so far, and we're just gonna move into downtown. So get those going, get out with the public, get to know everybody. We did have interviews a couple weeks ago. We had paramedic onlys, firefighter EMTs, and lieutenants all interviewed. All been completed, offers given. We had 12 paramedic onlys, which some of those will come here for the ESD4 ambulances and 1 here in-house. 6 firefighter EMTs, and we're very happy to let y'all know that 2 of them were Devine VFD personnel.
That's great.
So nice to have those guys included. And then 5 lieutenants, maybe 6? 5. So with those 28 calls for service we did, I think I'll move this one to the end because I think Ken wants to talk about it a little bit. But we did have another structure fire off of County Road 7710. Got there, it started on the porch, moved up in the attic, got a knockdown on it, saved the house. So, one big thing with these crews that just started, I mean, it's 2 a day, but they have done some extensive cleaning on the station and bays.
Yes.
And I hope that can be seen because we like to keep it clean around here. This is our house, a third of our life, so
Well, I was looking, one thing I noticed, because I know the lawn guy, when we switched, he wasn't doing anything with the weeds and stuff and the rocks, and I don't know who did that, whatever, but I noticed they're gone.
Josh Caps.
All right.
Okay, so if you have a lawn guy, if you're paying a lawn service, you don't need to be. That's one of their daily duties.
Okay.
We do pay.
Now, the big backyard, unless we have something bigger to mow it with, it's gonna be a little tough. But as far as the landscape, like, the crews are gonna take care of the lawn.
The guy that we pay does do all that in the back, and
Okay.
you should see him, because he's pretty good about coming. We pay him $190, and we were paying $250 every time they came before. So he says as much as he needs to come, $190 a month.
$190 a month.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't have equipment, we have a bunch of equipment, like, get anything short of the weeds,
Yeah,
yeah.
but he wasn't doing the weeds, I mean, those were getting a lot of control.
And that was just one of those things we want to present the firehouse as nicely as
It's
it
just a matter of
can be.
pulling them, if you just, from now on, just keep them sprayed or throw some stuff in there, they won't come back. So,
That'd be good for the quarter.
yeah.
Next up, volunteer roster is kind of updated. It's still kind of a work in progress. Seems like some didn't want to come in and put their application in with ESD1 in order to volunteer with us. Some of those are still trickling in. We're right around 5 or 6 people as of now that want to be active and contribute. And we want these guys to come in, these guys and girls, and we really would like to lean on them to come in. Apparatus. So this is a big one, and this is, I'm sure Mr. Dubose over there can contribute also, but we did a good evaluation with our EVT that's on staff here now as a lieutenant. We tried to contact the tech regarding the calves, and she told me something today I think you should kind of explain.
I called Metro Fire because that's who we thought had been here to look at the cab system on both trucks. Because of my background, I know several people with Metro Fire that we've used with my volunteer fire department. Beside the point, but they knew me when I called. So they talked to me about the invoices, then we switched hats and I talked to the service manager and his mechanic that's been there 7 years. They didn't touch the cab system. When he came to look at it, the missing drive shaft was already missing. So there was an EVT that was doing work in the past. He is no longer living. He took the drive shaft out to take it back to his shop at home to work on it. Then he passed away. And so the mechanic went with that gentleman's wife to look for the shaft, and it's no longer at their house. She doesn't live here anymore. It's missing in action.
It's in the comments box. Francisco knows about it.
That's who I talked to, and he said it wasn't anywhere here that he could find. That's who I talked to today.
Yeah, we showed it to him.
Well, he didn't say that.
I'm just saying.
No, I just,
don't
and so
wanna get in
that's,
an
no,
argument.
me neither, I just know what he told me over the phone. So he couldn't find it, so there was no them fixing it. So I didn't know that till just now, because he didn't say that.
Are you aware of anything with the 6-month warranty on the work that was done?
On which unit?
8120.
8120 was done at Alamo Fire, and Johnette handled the paperwork on that. That was supposed to go back. We did a swap out between Rescue and 8120. I picked the unit up. The AC didn't work. When I got it here, I ran through the cab system. The cab system didn't work. It was supposed to go back when Rescue came back after they fixed it for warranty. It never made it back. That's been over, that was
It's in March of 23.
23 that was done. They're not gonna warranty anything, but the cab system was supposed to be fixed and it did not get done. The problem with the cab system, honestly, is that when I got here in 22 and 23, those systems had not been gone through in probably 8 to 10 years. They were gummed up, there was water in the filtration system in the cabs unit on the engine they're talking about. It was completely contaminated. So Alamo was supposed to go through and clean it out, which they did. When I picked it up, he showed me that it worked, but when I got it here and started running through the test, because it's supposed to be calves through the deck gun and everything, it did not work properly. And when I left there, the AC didn't work properly. So I called them and made the arrangements for when the transfer from the rescue unit for it to go back up there to be done and warranty work. I left in August of '23, and my understanding is that it never made it back up there. So you've got like, I think it was what, nearly 25? $29,000 worth of work done on that engine that didn't get done properly, should have been warranted, but never made it back.
I think we're gonna,
So that ship done sailed.
we're gonna eat that.
So you have two systems, the CAV system on, I'm not trying to get into what you're doing, but the CAV system on the 8120 was the system that I designed. It's a very easy operation system, but right now it's out of service. They've gone in the computer and disengaged the CAV system because it's not properly sequencing. My understanding is that it was a computer communication problem between the computer and the pump, and so it's out of sync. They were gonna have to go in and reprogram it and do other things to get it to work properly, and that never got done. And on the Metro engine, the drive shaft we found was in the Connex box. Why it was taken apart, I don't know. When I got here, it was disassembled. And yes, the mechanic that they had hired is no longer with us. And Francisco came down and looked at it on a couple of occasions. He also helped me with the rescue unit because that system looked like it was so contaminated. The air filtration system was gone, the filter system was gone out of it, and it was packed up like dirt doggers had lived in the whole system from front to back. And so we had to clean all of that out. So you've got, as they're fixing to tell you, you've got maintenance issues that were never taken care of on the apparatus that they're fixing to give you the information on.
Would this board entertain, so we're in the process of pricing some very economical apparatus. Would this board entertain a proposal for replacement apparatus that is very economical to give you a fresh start of where you're at?
We've entertained it before. We actually almost went down the path of buying one, quite expensive, but at the time, we just really didn't want to do that while we still had a note on the house and we were still paying that.
When you say economically, what are you talking about?
600.
How much?
600.
600.
So with that, if you're not interested in cabs, that engine out there, 8120, is a 2,000 GPM pump, 1,750 gallon tank. It can operate crazy. And the reason that I spec it out as a 2,000 GPM pump is when it starts to degrade, it's still way above ISO mandates. I mean, I'm just giving you options here. The Metro engine, I don't know that much about, but I spec'd out that 8120, so I know everything about
And
that.
I don't know much about cabs or fighting fires, and I had a little quick lesson when I was in the Navy. That's as far as I go, right? It's more about holding hoses and, stuff like that. But it's my understanding that the previous chief, before the Jessica, didn't really care for calves a whole lot. It was kind of what I had heard, never out of his mouth, but I just heard that didn't really care for it. So I don't know, is that a personal thing? Who's running the house? They really like calves or not?
It's a tool in a toolbox.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a
So
purpose.
when it does come to ISO, the state of Texas gives you some credit if you have at least one CAS pumper respond to your structure function. But there is nothing in our business that is all short of we need water, right? There's nothing in our business CAS is a tool in the toolbox. And proper use works really good. It's not always the best thing, but often is.
And saying that, I guess I'm saying for me personally, I mean, I look at you all to tell us, You know, is it important for you to have or not?
So we've got it on 3 different trucks, correct? 3 different vehicles.
So it has to be on a type 1 engine for it to forward ISO.
2
Right,
engines.
right, but currently we have even the brush truck, correct? The one brush truck.
Rescue has gas
Oh,
on
the
it.
rescue,
Yes.
that's right, yeah, it's the rescue truck. Okay, that one, I'm not as concerned about, we gotta talk about that one.
Does Cavs work on any of their trucks?
So we've got,
Okay.
so now we're
We
talking.
don't have it right now.
We're talking 2 CAD systems. But if, as wells found, I mean, I see a compressor drive shaft. That's for calves on E8220,
Correct.
right? I see we need tires.
Let's
Yeah.
get back to Chief Powers delivering his report before we start breaking everything down. I wanna go back to your comment, Chief Cook, at some point before we finish this, but.
Yeah, I'll be quick.
Again, I'm not trying to, you've got stuff, let's go back to what you're talking about.
I'll be quick. Brush 8120, just needs replacement tires. It's got a big chunk out of the side of one of them, and they're out of DOT date, so those need replacement. We found out what was wrong with engine 8220. Lieutenant Wells took a look at it. Generic foam systems, non-operational, so you just got water. There is a NOx sensor for the DEF system that needs replacement. That's what's keeping it with a check engine light on it right now. So we just need to get approval for that at some point to get that replaced and he'll get it done.
They're not gonna cover that under warranty? Didn't they just review the whole DEF system in that unit?
They did the depth header and the hoses and the depth filter. Now, depending on where that sensor is located, if it's on the rear half of it, I would think it'd be under warranty, that'd be with Metro.
It's right near the filter.
Yeah,
Good?
And that's on, oh, good.
Not good. I'm done with that part.
Wow.
All right, so Ken, you were breaking some things down. I just wanted him to finish.
Yeah.
What would you want to get you?
Has Lieutenant Wells found anything major on the 2 engines? Like anything else, drivetrain, engine problems?
No.
Anything like that?
And you were talking about the pump. I mean, you can barely even hear it running whenever it's pumping, so it's
Okay.
good. Everything
So-
else looks
So
good.
all that's good.
Generator.
And calves is what, I mean, I'm just thinking, we do need 1 engine, we do need another engine, to have 3. Is it economical, besides, you know, going and buying a whole new engine to replace these, to just have the calves repaired? I'm asking that question, what you guys feel. Is it worth it to put it on those trucks, or do we need to get updated trucks, period?
Truthfully, you're kicking the can down the road.
I wouldn't spend what it's going to update the cab on those trucks. So if they come back and go, get a whole cab system that we need to replace, it's not gonna be financially worth it. It'll be worth, that will cost you more than that truck's worth. In today's
This one
world.
is.
that was a question I was gonna have, what do you think you can get for one of those trucks? Not a huge market for them, I wouldn't think, you know.
40 grand, 40 to 50
What is
grand.
that truck, 20 years old? I don't know,
Yeah.
something like that.
40 to
08,
50 grand.
13.
So,
So one of them needs to be replaced, potentially.
And we need, well, proposed is 3
Yeah.
altogether.
How soon do we need to just have this conversation, Chief Cook?
so the only reason I bring it up right now is we're doing the same thing over at ESD6, and so we've routinely bought Peters, because that's where they were buying when I bought here. Make a great truck, been around a long time. Backed significantly by Siddons Martin. You can't go anywhere without seeing a Siddons Martin workshop, but you pay for that. So we started pricing out some other apparatus for ESD6, and we come across US fire pumps. So US Fire Pump, so if you're familiar with Ferrera Fire Apparatus, so Chris Ferrera sold Ferrera Fire Apparatus to the Rev Group 6 or 7 years ago. When his no-compete clause ended, he started a whole new factory right next door to Ferrera Fire Apparatus on I-10, right there in Holden, Louisiana, in US Fire Pumps. So he's building his fire trucks again, right next door to the company that has his name at it. And like his quote for a 1,250 gallons of water, commercial cap pumper with like an 11-month turnaround, he's quoting us $560. It's that's a pretty good price right now.
Yeah, 'cause I think last time we were presented was almost 800.
Yeah, and
You said it's 11 month?
What's that?
11 month wait.
Something like that. We didn't get into the exact delivery time, but I'm trying to find out. We're also having him quote a tender, because really this board could use one engine, one tender to start, and I really think we're going to be for those two apparatus, we're going to be pushing right around that $1 million mark. Not much, if over it.
Right.
Now there's some equipment costs. You're looking 150 for equipment, but if it's something the board would entertain, I'll work with Chief Powers to prepare a proposal on that. You wouldn't owe for it until it's delivered. I mean, we can look at both, whether it's feasible to pay for or whether it needs to be financed. There's some financing avenues that are pretty economical. And
What's
so
the
we just
typical-
didn't want to slam that with you right off the bat. Chief Powers and I had a tent discussion. We just got these quotes in today or yesterday for 6.
What's a typical term length on the loans for something like that?
Usually you can do 10, but I wouldn't be more than about 6 or 7. It all depends on your financial situation.
I don't know, I'm always hesitant to buy new equipment, because they're expensive, and I also always can't get it out of my head that firefighters, they want to drive the new stuff,
How-
So.
How often is the
So,
gas system?
is it really, and I don't know enough about it all to argue with you a whole lot, whether is it really necessary to have it, so.
So on that comment you made, so I want something that's gonna get to that fire with a pump, a hose, and somebody to operate it. That's all I care about, and mostly what guys care about, is us getting us there and working. The problem is are we at that point with some of these apparatus to where we can trust it to? Long-term.
Right.
And that's where we're at.
And truthfully, we don't know that yet. We've been here
Yeah.
2.5 weeks, or 3 weeks.
So, but to answer your question, I don't think everybody here would entertain something, obviously with, I'm sure a lot of questions and all coming after that.
Well, I think if nothing else, I definitely want to entertain the pumper and a tender, for sure, because that's something we need anyway.
And I think that one thing that we need to do is be fiscally responsible about it. And I think what he's talking about is.
Well, I'm not gonna say I don't worry about it, because I think from what our original thought on what y'all's contract was gonna be and what our income was gonna be pretty tight already. I mean,
You're gonna still put a couple hundred.
we're looking at, 24, 25 budget is $1 million, and that's total revenue of $1 million.
25.
You're gonna put a couple hundred in the bank.
So,
It's not really that high.
But you got to figure too.
how
we
far
just
is a
got-
couple hundred gonna go paying on new vehicles plus whatever else goes wrong, throughout the year? So, and we haven't worked out all those numbers.
We're so early in all of this.
Yeah.
and-
So
I'm just expressing some of my thoughts
Sure.
and concerns out loud, so you all know.
And also think about some of those repair and maintenance costs of those apparatus also that are gonna come in the next year. We don't know, but the way Metro's been out here looking at them, there's a lot of money that's been spent on them.
Well, and I mean, out of what you're telling us right here, I mean, what, do we have any idea what's gonna cost to get these back to where they need to be, or where you want them to be?
You're never gonna get the CAF system back.
Yeah, and that's fine, we can set that off to the side. Tires, I mean, what's that, 30 grand? I don't know what they cost. Not cheap, I'm sure. to spend $1,800 for my truck.
Yeah.
And those are just nothing.
Yeah, I think
That's
if we
just
were
for a
able,
set of Michelin's, you know?
if we were able to get a new engine and attend that engine would come here, maybe one of these would go over to Ford, we'd still do that. That new one will be our main engine.
I think one of the big things that we've seen so far is you start getting into the DEF system problems, and that can get pricey.
According to the new state law that's gonna be out there, all diesel engines are gonna be exempt from emissions testing, so we can just cut that out. Just saying, that's what I read on the state's website.
I do wonder this, what percentage of the time is that CAD system the best tool for the job?
Like I said, I wouldn't make a recommendation for you to repair the car.
No, not to repair them, I'm curious, like versus keeping fire trucks that do roll right now, right? Versus buying brand new ones for the, maybe in part for the CAD systems.
Most people are gonna use it for overhaul at the end of a structure fire, or to conserve water.
So it's less of saving lives and a little bit more of maybe saving property, or just saving water.
But
Do
one
we
of the
save property
things-
either way, or do we just save water?
We're just gonna use more water.
We're gonna use more water, so we'll still get the job done with what we have.
But one of the things you gotta think about is
Water's our biggest problem.
our area, right, is having that water. That calves can turn up to 4 times, turn 1,000 gallons into 4,000 on average, right? So if, you've only got so much on the truck and you have no way to hook up to a hydrant, you can make that go a lot further. That whatever water you have in your truck, that can be a major.
So then the next question is, what percentage of our fires give us that problem of not having enough water?
Those are, I would say, those are always very, very tough questions, because we don't make a fire every day, and it goes down to, are we trying to play the odds somewhere? And so those are tough questions. We're gonna work with what we have.
The fire in 173, how much water was used there? Would you guess?
Which fire?
Or on 132, I'm sorry.
It was knocked down with
It's not much,
200 gallons.
300-400.
And typically, wouldn't we have mutual aid responding so that we would also have like more than one fire truck? I guess I'm just thinking,
Right.
I'm a data person.
Any structure fire that we're going to at this point, Natalia's gonna be there.
And
So
obviously,
it's not a safety issue, it's more of a water.
It's a tool in your toolbox.
obviously the new truck would have it on it, have cabs on it.
We can spec it on. I don't know if that,
You're
I don't know
right.
if that quote, I
Is
don't
that
know if that
some-
quote had it.
Okay, gotcha.
So this was something, Chief Story is working on in 6, and he
Is that
just called
something you would
today and said
recommend
that,
on a new?
100%.
I think
new
so,
one here?
if we can get it, I think so. It's a good tool.
Has to be operated though.
If you're getting a new truck, you'd probably put it on there. I'm just trying to figure, would we wanna buy
Yeah,
a new
and
truck
I-
just for that?
Well, I think we're not just, we've already been here an hour, we're beating a horse that's not ready to be beat yet. Let's just move on.
I think kind of
Bottom line, we answered the question, we're willing to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just some things to address around the station. He mentioned that earlier, the shower. Josh Capps looked at it earlier, and I went in there and looked, and it looks like a lot of it's just cosmetic. Drywall stuff, some caulk, some fill-in, and I think we should be done with it.
Are we still not done yet with the bathroom?
Oh my goodness.
It looks ugly.
Well, you need to
That's
start
one
on
that
the
we
other
just
one.
paid for.
I'm not talking about the other one, I'm talking about.
I'm saying I need to start on the other one, so.
Yeah, it does look good.
I'll find out.
So we can regulate it.
We do have tiles. That trailer that's out there is his trailer, and it has all the tile for the other bathroom.
So yeah, that's where we're at on that. Did talk to Chief Escobar earlier. He was getting bids on the door on the last bay that was damaged. Bids were due this morning. He was hoping to get 3 bids, he only got 1.
I spoke to 3 people on that, just by the way, guys, I told y'all. Well, first person I reached out to was Paul, and Paul helped us get that last bay built and all that. And he looked at it and said it's just above his pay grade, basically. He doesn't weld or anything, so he didn't want to do it. Then I called Carl Patterson, he didn't have time to do it. I called Michael Alvarado, he didn't have time to do it. Michael did come out and look at it. He looked at it and thought that it was gonna require some cutting, welding, you know, to get it right. And he's like, I'm not saying I won't do it. He goes, but it'd be January before I could even consider getting out here to do it. And so I called Chief Powers and just said, hey, do you all have a resource that maybe you could use to look for it, that I was striking out?
So we got, the bid that did come in was from Ramco, and just reading some of the things that they said that they were gonna do was, take it apart, obviously, put the new purlin in, set everything back, was looking at $9,800.
And we need those bids because when I talked to our insurance, you know, the insurance said we've got $1,000 deductible, they just mailed us a check for $1,000. We didn't have any bids, nothing. You know, they just sent somebody out here and mailed us a check for $1,000. And so when I called them and talked to them about it, I was like, well, we didn't have bids on this. He said, look, he goes, who knows whether he's sincere or not, but he was like, we tend to do that. We just send you money before we get bids and all that. He said, but if y'all get bids, by all means, send us bids and we'll readdress it. So we may get some more money out of this if we get bids.
Yeah, we're still waiting, give us a couple days and see if those roll in. They're trying to get them formal.
EH Pace that came out and did all the work on it, they're supposed to give me a quote as well.
So anyway, VFIS led me to believe that they would readdress it if we got bids. It was, you know, way above what they had estimated.
Well, if we could just get one more bid, even if they don't wanna do the work, if we could get a
Right,
bid out
yeah.
of them.
So,
Send it to the insurance at least.
Be careful with Mike Alvarado. I got sued him for $6,000.
Will you use part of that towards this 9,800?
I just wouldn't trust him.
On the toilets.
Toilets are leaking in the bathrooms, we'll take care of it. That's just firehouse stuff that we all work on stuff and we can set a toilet, I think.
Did you say something about the cardiac monitor?
One thing that we need to look at in the future, because we're gonna be running, I mean, everybody that's gonna be on that engine for the most part is gonna be paramedic. And we first respond to all the serious medical calls. We're gonna have narcotics on those engines. So it'd be a good idea to have a cardiac monitor on those. Did get a price on a refurbed one for 25. So
and that's on how many of the apparatus, all of them, or just one?
we have 0.
How many do you want?
How many do
One.
we need?
Oh, just one? Oh, okay.
It's 25,000?
So 50.
Oh, that's cheap. You should see the contract we're in.
Oh, I got y'all out of it.
Yeah. We're gonna drop 80 here pretty quick.
Cardiac monitor, that's just a little monitor you hook up to people. And
Yeah, that's all it does. Yeah.
That's all.
blood
I'll throw
pressure and
50
all
bucks
that,
at it, get
monitors your
two.
O2 levels of blood pressure and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. and
One they
shocking
all
if
hook you up
need
to
it.
every time you go to the hospital,
Uh-huh.
25 grand.
No, they're 60.
That's
The
refurb.
That's a refurb one.
You are lucky. You are lucky they're talking 25.
I'm in the wrong business.
Anything in the medical or fire business.
Probably cost
You
them,
put that name in there.
probably cost them $1,000 to build
The main thing is
it
though,
in China.
the second one of the citizens is having a heart attack and they're in that right rhythm where we need to shock them. That's what we use. And that could potentially save their life. And that's what we look at.
Do we approve
Do you want to present that to us and we agree to it, or we need to go ahead and agree to that?
Let me get the bid in from Chief Windsor
Okay.
and have the paperwork ready.
All right.
That's all I got.
I had questions on the volunteers. I know, Ken, you had something you were going to mention about, I guess, the teal fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
You're waiting on applications. I know that previous meetings, there've been some discussions and concerns about quotas and training and stuff like that. Do we, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but is there anything in that black and white that says what they need to be doing so that we can start sharing that, we can start sharing with them, with the volunteers, so that way we give them some kind of an idea of what their training needs to be like, hours, so forth and so on?
Sure. I'll get it to you.
Okay, I mean, not for me per se, but are they asking for it, or is there? I mean, I know that we've had some folks that were at previous meetings, and I know Chief, you weren't here at some of those meetings, but Chief Cook was, I know that meeting, he was there trying to explain some of that stuff, so I know that the VFD had very stringent, or whatever you wanna use the verbiage of, their requirements of training. I don't think your Chief Cook Powers, y'all have the same type of training. I'm spitballing here, so please forgive me. I'm just trying to show that we still expect the training. We have the black and white, here it is.
So we're kicking around a couple ideas on how to bring the volunteers and the paid staff together, maybe a training night or something like that for a couple hours. That way we get on board with everybody. But we do have the 48-hour a month requirement. So if you're a volunteer, we need you to come in for 48 hours that month. That keeps that training up to date.
Right.
That includes you, and we're all working together.
Scott has, I'm not gonna mean to interrupt you, Scott had his hand up.
I was just gonna say that, yes, sir, I've been kind of a liaison between trying to gather up the volunteers and getting them back, and they are all intimately aware of the requirements, the application process, and some of them have accepted fire, paramedic, fire, EMT jobs at other firehouses that we starting soon. So once life gets sorted out and they figure out their shifts and things like that, I would expect to have 4 to 5 solid ones that are all TCFP, EMT, and or in paramedic school or a graduate of a paramedic school. But right now with the transition, they're being hired at other departments. And one that was gonna volunteer with us was hired by ESD2.
Yep.
It's gonna, and then I was talking with Chief Powers, get our volunteers back on, figure out our path forward, and then kind of have an open firehouse day with the volunteers, kind of showing them what volunteers are doing, turnout gear, VAs, kind of pack them up, get them some real, not just walk through, but here's what it feels like, and then kind of educate them. And then Chief Powers indicated that there's forgive me, Chief, I don't remember the training chief's name.
Chief Redo.
We then, once we have an appropriate number, 10 to 12, we would coordinate to get a fire academy for those volunteers so that they can be trained. For those not having certs already.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Of course.
All right, move on to number 10, Devine volunteer.
On the number 2 under operations here, they had the house fire on Teal Street. I had received some calls saying, hey, there was, what had happened at that house fire, and I just felt like I needed to go and check out what had happened, what was going on. I dropped by, brought him some Gatorades, asked Dad if I could come on scene. He permitted me to come on scene, but I got to talk to the firefighters. I got to talk to Chief Powers, who was there, and I got to sit down on the hot wash. And I just have to say I was thoroughly impressed with everything that they had done. It was a great rescue. They rescued 2 men out of the house and saved a dog, got the dog out and saved the dog as well. I thought that was very impressive. And just listening to the hot wash, I mean, again, impressed. And here, just a little, not too long ago, my mom fell and had to call EMS. And the rescue squad showed up, the ambulance showed up, and then Devine Fire showed up as well. And Josh Capps was there. It was kind of relieving, just seeing there. But the professionalism that they showed my family was awesome. It's great. And I got to see how they work hand in hand, and I really like the idea of having these firefighters / EMTs because they were working hand in hand. While the EMTs were inside, these guys showed up, they're grabbing the stretcher, bringing it in, grabbing extra equipment, and it was just seamless. And so I'm really happy about the EMT / firefighter for each department, and I'll say thank you.
Can you define hot wash for us so we know what that means?
Just kind of a review, immediately after the fire.
Okay.
To see what went wrong, what went right.
What you could do better.
What we could do better.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great.
Here, because right then is when you see, hey, this didn't go just right, the way I wanted it to. But you give it a couple hours, a couple days, and it's just like, I totally forgot about it. If you do it right then, you get to see
Absolutely,
what we can improve on.
absolutely. Awesome.
That's all I have.
Ready? All right. Live VFD, you're up.
Well, Mr. Henry got the, engagement letter, and so he's gonna get that signed off so that we can, move forward with the audit. I'm not sure what else beyond, if there's anything else that we should state there.
Yeah, no.
We have that, potentially, like, I think what we have on the agenda is bylaws update and any updates regarding ESD funds.
Okay. Yeah, so the bylaws update, I emailed a copy of a draft. It was based on the Castroville transition, that Chief Powers was able to provide. And so I've updated that, and, you guys, I think y'all have a copy of it. I don't have all of y'all's email addresses, so I think it got dispersed though. And so, but we can't really move forward with that too well because we don't have, we're supposed to, per our current bylaws, we're supposed to present that at a business meeting, then, you know, post it for at least a week, and then have the membership vote on it and 2/3 membership vote. We're essentially down to about 6 members, and 4 of which are on the board. So, you know, how should we, you know, just, do you guys have any advice on how we should proceed with that so that we can transition over to passing these transition bylaws?
I would say that makes it easy. If you have enough to make a forum, and you only have so many people that can
Vote on
vote.
that, and, you know, obviously, we're willing to help however we can, but us lacking a contract with you, I don't know,
So,
what do we have to say about your bylaws?
well, so here's the update to that. And I've said this from the very beginning, we want the Devine VFD
Right.
board of directors to still exist, because we don't know what's gonna happen. So what you have to say about them is that them wanting to be good partners in this transition, okay? And I appreciate that, and you know, we've had some brief discussions. I saw his email come through, I haven't read them, but if you based them off the Castroville ones, I'm gonna assume it says they're gonna reduce their board down to 3 members. 2 of those members are gonna be y'all. 2 members from the current ESD2 board of directors.
But you want us to have the majority?
Well, because remember, they're effectively, they don't, if ESD2 is not contracting with Devine VFD, they no longer really have a purpose or an existence. Okay? And so this is a business decision, so that if anything comes up and all of a sudden, 5 years down the road, we go to do something, like, oh, that's in the Devine VFD name, there's no legal ability to transition ownership. So that's the purpose behind this. And it allows the Devine VFD to still, on paper, still exist as a legal entity.
Does that keep the 501c3?
Yes, that's what that is.
And-
It keeps the 501c3. There are some benefits to that, you know, and I would suggest that then there is a limited contract developed with that VFD that just, they're there, okay? So there's some things that having a 501c3 process it for you just works out better. You get better rate, better pricing. I don't know what those are right now. Someone wants to donate, they can only donate to a 501c, whatever it is. So it's not about, this is about making sure the Devine VFD still exists legally, but they're not necessarily doing anything each day, but there are some, like, if they have any grants out there, you're still gonna be eligible for them. And so, like, we have 2 board members on each of our prior VFD, 2 ESD board members and then 1 member of the community. We have 1 meeting a year. And we make sure that the 990s are done, we make sure that they're still a legal entity. we insure them under as a other named insured in our parent policy, so they don't have their own insurance policy. But it's just a way for that legal entity not to just fade away, and if there's any business problems, you have the business ability to address them.
You still own the old firehouse, and you're renting it, so you have that income coming in all the time, right?
Yeah.
What other things do you have going that would be on an ongoing basis?
That's pretty much it. I mean, we have the, well, is the social lights which should be used?
No, it's not under DDFD.
Oh, all right. It's still, okay. So, yeah, it's pretty much just that, and we do still have, I believe it's about, what, 350,000 of grants still available?
It's about 312.
312,000 of grants still available. So, that's already been awarded, or, and then you still have some that are outstanding, right, that you have not heard back from? Don't you have some grants out still?
So
Yes, sir.
what happens with those grants if you get them and you don't have a fire department?
Well, I'd have to defer to.
Right, and
I'm
so that's
just
the
wondering.
purpose of keeping a fire.
The other-
You can't even apply for them.
The other thing is that they
But if he
can
only has to
fundraise,
continue.
right, and we can't. So that's another piece to being a 501c.
It's more of a security blanket for a business decision that may come up that none of us know exists today. That 2 years from now, this business decision comes up and it's like, oh, that's the 501c3, well, they're no longer in business, how do we fix that? And so this gives the ability to make sure that all those business decisions can be taken care of. I haven't read all the bylaws, I just picked the 50, but those, if it's based off of that, that's why we did the Castroville, based off of Ken Campbell's recommendation, he wrote them. That's why we did Castroville and Lacoste that way, was to make sure that if there's anything that came up that we just didn't foresee today, and the business still exists.
And Hondo as well?
Particularly if they're willing
to
still.
Do what?
Particularly if they're willing to still keep being, the 501c3.
Bottom line is, you have a quorum, I think you all, I don't see why you wouldn't vote on it.
All right, see if you can want to do that.
Officially present them to us another time, I mean, I don't know if we can just say.
Yeah, we can work with Ken on what that, how the contract needs to be worded or what needs to be in it. We never-
If Ken will be on that board or not.
Right. You know, so, yeah. It's not a bad thing for you.
Okay.
I have a que- just, can I ask a question, please? So, the grant money that you get, can that be used for the volunteer firefighters, like for their equipment and such?
It can be used for the department to assist the firefighters. It
Okay.
can't personally go to them.
No, I know,
Okay.
I know it's not personal, but I meant, this would actually help outfit them or
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know that equipment's not
For certain
cheap,
things, correct?
I understand that.
Some of the grant money is earmarked, like,
Yes.
for,
I haven't read what's still outstanding yet, so I
Yeah.
can't, I know they were awarded a SAFER grant for recruitment and retention.
hmm,
And I think that's where most of it's probably at, in that SAFER grant.
No, the Safer Grant, it has 3 sections in it. The first one is the PPE and equipment.
right.
And that's where the highest amount of the budget is. The second thing is to get volunteer firefighters to go, when they join the department, to go through the intro to fire, firefighter 1, firefighter 2. And then along with that's all training part. But along with that is the section that pays for training, so that the more experienced firefighters will be able to receive training or go to training, come back with that information to share
Gotcha.
and help qualify, the other firefighters. And the last part of it which is around $19,000 a year, is for recruitment. And that requires that of all the trainings that are done throughout the year, the firefighter attends at least 70% of them, and they respond to at least 70% of the calls. So both of those things are included in that section. Yeah, now, one of the questions that Eric and Mac asked me about in terms of the FEMA grant, and how that would, how that would work, the way it is. It's not really difficult, because what has to happen is you have to have it was called an AOR, and that's the person that can actually make the decisions and sign the final, the final request of those. And what has to happen is you call FEMA and you tell them that your AOR is gonna be so-and-so, and it's no longer, the person they had on there. And most of the time, it's been the chief that is the AOR, that authorized representative, that gets named to that. And then that way, he can make the decisions as to, how to draw down those funds. And the rest of it is just making sure that if, one of the problems that we had in 2024 and all that, and it's gonna sound like I'm begging off, but I spent most of 2024 in the hospital with heart problems and stuff. But instead of reading the grant and looking at it, what was done is they sent what they thought was the best evidence they could get. And if FEMA says that they'll pay for mileage, you don't send in gas receipts. It gets turned down. And it isn't just that part that'll get turned down, it's the whole thing gets turned down. You request equipment, it all gets turned down. So you gotta pay really close attention to what it is that grant is saying. Because in the first time that I submitted a proposal, we got $79,000 of PPE. And what they require is who's gonna get that PPE, what are their qualifications, and you just give them what they ask you for. And it's real clear in the request form what it is, so that's what I can tell you about the grants in terms of the.
And then ESD funds, I don't know if you all have really sat down and looked at that yet and where you think that is, but I know we as a board need to think about ESD funds that are still with the volunteer fire department, and being that there's no longer contract. I don't know how we're exactly gonna determine that. We have to determine is how much of that needs to come back to the ESD, and how much of it is already committed to the budget you all presented us, initially, and I'm not sure exactly how to come up with that number, but.
So, I mean, the way I interpret the direction this is going is the board is potentially preparing bylaws that gives y'all control of all of it.
So what's left in either account?
That's the way I understand it.
It's our original contract where you said all assets come back to the ESD.
But my understanding is what is being prepared, and it
No,
sounds like it's
that's why I
supported,
asked the question. We're gonna have the majority.
is
So
that
we are gonna have the
this
majority.
company becomes y'all's company.
Basically, we will make a decision on what we think is the proper course.
So their
Once we
company
get the
becomes your
bylaws
company.
Approved, which next month you should have voted and have the bylaws approved, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we should be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could, we need 72 hours to call a meeting, then we need a week, and then, can we call the meeting here? I mean, is that
Yeah.
okay to use this facility?
Sure.
Okay. And yeah, we'll go through the motions.
All right. Okay, moving on to old business, any updates on the security upgrades? Anybody?
Chief Powers is gonna give that to you. Still
So,
looking to see if there's another vendor.
got a quote on it, we're looking at $7,781, that includes the service call, push to exit, keypad, wireless control panel, magnetic lock, cylindrical lock, cell communicator, wire cable, conduit, connector straps, all that for that price.
7,100,
7781.
oh, 7,781.
And that's for these two.
That's the two doors.
So he's looking for other bids.
And I
Just
don't
for the
know.
doors?
So the bigger of this is it's just not a lock on the door. The bigger of this is the access control system.
I'm gonna give you the name of the guy, I just.
So it's a little different because it's not just a lock.
He's a local guy here, who lost and worked for Alcoa Lock Lawyer. You understand, they're the largest manufacturer of doors and door hardware and everything in the world. And he's a regional supervisor who lives right here in Devine, and he knows doors inside and out. So I will give you his name and number, and he'll either be able to do it or have a really good resource.
Yeah, but like I said, and you may, the bigger the challenge is, it's not just the lock or the door, it's the whole access control system where when someone's no longer with us, we just take them out of the system, they don't have access. So it's not a common key code or anything like that.
So it was cell activated too, or something?
Yes, it's cell.
So if someone was here, you could allow them in?
Yes,
Remotely.
yeah, yes. I have access on my phone and we just enter it. So it's very convenient, but
If you're looking for somebody else to give you a quote, he would probably have somebody that he would think would be really good. I just texted him.
Is there any level of continuity for you guys, like for firefighters coming in and out across ESD1?
that's why it is. I mean, that's the benefit of it, is it's a part of the whole access control. So if someone comes, someone's filling in here from Myco, they don't have to go, hey, what's the code down there? It's their code, and then we know who came in. It's not a shared code. I can pull everyone to access and go, hey, why did you access this door at 2:30? So it's a security system more than just,
Yeah.
it's,
And it's connected with theirs.
Yeah, so
With
they're
their
able to
system.
badge.
I see value in that.
Oh,
I do, that's what, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, firehouse door update, we kinda got that already, so I think we're good on that. Ice machine, other than we paid, it's a pretty good chunk here on the bill, so I'm assuming it got fixed.
It's fixed, it's working.
It's functioning fine? Okay.
Yeah, $1,200 bill, so I'm guessing that got fixed.
So,
Yeah.
under this,
It had some major problems.
I wanna bundle this in with the, security upgrade update. They were talking about trying to, secure that, fuel out back a little bit better. And, I don't know, anything, I know the IT guy said, it's hard to put electronics out there around the fuel.
We want it to be secure, and we want to be able to track it, to where we can give us a gallonage of how much we took, and it has a code for each person, and, okay, so Power's got 38 gallons of diesel at 10 o'clock, we can track it.
Did anybody ever come out and fill out the generator?
No, it's still low fuel.
It's not low fuel, it's just fluctuating for some reason, there's a bad sensor in there or something.
I did make that phone
Because one
call.
day it'll be 72%.
And I don't know if we discussed this before, the reason that we have that tank out there was because of Snowmageddon. They couldn't get fuel. And you guys have something like that throughout the rest of, in your other sections of ESD?
Well, there was a small inkling of savings and just convenience of
Yeah.
filling up right there.
It is convenient.
Yeah. And
So what is recommendations for securing it?
Well, what I'm used to is it's fenced in and keypadded, but we don't have to do that. I mean, have a keypad on it where we can track it.
Is that something we can tie into this security system? Is that what no way?
Have you priced the keypad?
I think Stanley said something about having to run power over there. And I told him we already have, like, if it's a 12-volt system, we have a solar panel and battery right there. I don't know if he can come up with something
We'll get back.
to be able to do that.
Yeah, we'll move past this, we'll get back.
Okay.
Okay, new business. Consider and take possible action to establish temporary interlocal agreement with ESD1.
Abby.
You've been getting all the emails?
Yeah.
You're up on this one, girl.
Yes, I sent everybody the interlocal agreement
Yes.
to review, well, I think multiple times.
Yeah.
Chief Cook worked on the draft. It's very basic. It's, should cover all of our bases until we have something that's less temporary. The question is there anything in there that you would have concerns
You know, I
with?
spoke to Ken today, and I didn't even meant to ask him where he was on that. Do we know where he is on that? He's not.
So the thing about it.
Maybe I should have asked him.
The thing about it is that we do need to have an interlocal agreement in
Right.
order to do business, right? And so when auditors are taking a look at the work that Ms. Cooper does, they're gonna be looking for that interlocal agreement. So we wanna make sure that we have something at a minimum in place.
I'll give you a summary. So that interlocal agreement that you have is the interlocal agreement we have between ESD6 and ourselves. So we're providing the same type of service to you as we are to ESD6. You'll notice there's not a lot of absolutes in it when it comes to monetary because the agreement extends from year to year. Your budget is each year. And so everything talks about as approved in that year's budget. But it is a legal agreement that basically says, hey, we're your fire department. We're responsible for all that. What we do is we're also an independent contractor, so it protects your management liability. Is going to appreciate the fact that you're insured, but you're not insuring people because it's all under us. And so that's what that is the synopsis in general of, hey, we're going to provide your service. We're going to agree to a budget during budget time, and we're going to stick to that budget. And that's the synopsis of it, and then there's a bunch of legal that's defining what an ESD is and why
So
we're
what-
legally allowed to.
So what we have in here and what I've been reading, what Abby's been doing, thank you, Abby, fantastic job of sending this stuff is that this is temporary. Is this still gonna be temporary, or are you presenting that it doesn't have to be
I think it
temporary?
can start as temporary until that you have a chance that legal counsel can actually read it and go, yeah, I'm good with this.
Okay.
Do I think it's gonna change? I don't. I think it's gonna be the same.
Do you think it'll change at all based on the fact that sharing staff with the ESD4 or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Because you're
I think
providing
that's budgeting
staff as
stuff.
you say you will.
Right, we're providing a service, and the service, the cost of the service and what we do with that money to provide the service in the way you want it provided is part of the budget. And so I personally don't think it changes, but I'm good with it being temporary. When I spoke with my board about it, they're in the same boat. They're spoke with Ken yesterday too, but it was on totally different subjects, and he hasn't been able to catch up to that.
Talking for 3 months?
What's that?
Vote into it for 3 months, month to month?
I think you can do, here's what I would do, is we can reword it, that it renews on the beginning of each month consecutively until change. And so it.
That way if it's working, it
Right.
just continues.
Right, so it can begin, it can renew on the month until change. An automatic renewal on the first of each month, and that gives you, it's temporary enough that if the board's like, hell man, we need out of this, you're out.
But it gives us options for revision
Yes.
each month if we need to.
And so, the earliest our board will be able to take a look at it, it'll be the date I think I have on there, November 17th, 12th, I don't even know at this point, whatever's in there. But
I mean, I read it, I didn't have any issues with it, I don't know if any.
I didn't either.
If
No.
not,
it's not restrictive to either side,
Yeah.
but it's the legal protection that I think both sides need.
A lot of it was fluid based on budget, so,
Right.
like you said.
No, I think we use it, get it to Ken Campbell. Does he have it?
He's got it from 6.
Okay.
You wrote it.
But just
He
the
approved
updated
it with
verbiage.
6, and he made a couple changes, we corrected those from a 6 side.
Okay.
So this was written by 6's attorney to us, and then approved by Ken
Two attorneys have had eyes on.
Yes.
At least this would hold us until we get that
Conflict of interest.
with them. They would hold us until that, for sure.
Even though it has effective as of October 21st today, you wouldn't want it retroactive to October 1st, so all expenses would be taken care of?
I truly don't know if that's legal.
You can.
It is until we get caught.
You just have to make that part of the motion.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm okay
as long as
with
this is
making
in
it.
place, we
Yeah.
can start paying.
Right, I'm okay with you starting it as of October 1, retroactive to October 1st, renewed on the 1st of each month until subsequent, you know.
As long as it's part of
You
the
leaving?
motion, you can do that.
Patrick,
I'm typing the motion.
are you
right
leaving?
now.
No.
Oh, okay.
To September
Okay.
1st. Retroactive to September 1st.
No, not September.
October 1st.
That's why I am.
I mean, I'm fine with it. It sounds like you are. If somebody
Yeah,
wants to
I-
make a motion, we'll move forward on that.
And then that would just include as amended to renew monthly. Because what you have tonight doesn't have that. Just
No.
As amended to renew monthly.
So we're considering a motion to approve the temporary, you want me to do the motion?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the temporary interlocal agreement retroactive to October 1st as amended to renew each month until changed.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll
Have a
second.
motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right. All right, consider and take possible action to initiate a joint subcommittee with ESD4 and Battalion Chief Powers to discuss and make recommendations to both boards regarding coordination of facilities and equipment.
This was, I recommended this, there was some discussion, I was at ESD4's meeting. There was some discussion talking about months out. I think at some point we're partnering in these efforts for our community. So possibly having, 2 from 4, 2 from 2 to meet with Chief on, so we're not, some of this conversation, maybe we can get ahead of ourselves so we're not sitting here hours at a time. Possibly we can knock out some of these communications. And I mean, we're talking, there was discussions at last meeting, at Ford's meeting about apparatuses being shared, some changes with administration duties, or not duties, but facilities and stuff like that. And so
Sleeping quarters.
I told him that I think we needed to wait till we had our meeting tonight, and I think maybe we can possibly have some of these discussions, and then we can share information between each other so we can kind of partner moving forward rather than 4 doing this, 2 doing that, and where there's no, I mean, we're trying to communicate better
At least be able to hash things out.
across the table rather than doing it on the nights of our meetings.
A tiny rabbit trail, right? So I think it's a great idea. But also something that y'all have to pay maybe potentially close attention to is allowable uses of funds, because our tax dollars are raised to provide fire services. So whenever we start blending the use of, the use of funds, yours are to provide medical services, right? So.
I don't think that, I'm not gonna speak for the board. My thought is that we're not gonna commingle funds.
No, but what we buy with our funds, it's kind of similar. We
We keep that separate, and
Devine Fire.
ESD1 has made it very clear that they're tracking the funds but separately for both
No, 100%.
organizations.
But just as an example, for Devine Volunteer Fire, we were making sure that they weren't paying firefighters to go and do code compliance, because it would be a contradiction for our funding, right? Because of our allowability of funds. So it's just something I think, and I wondered about even, would there be like an interlocal agreement even, because we're both taxing in as entities, could we even have an interlocal agreement where we actually agree to work together and we formalize that? Do you have any ideas?
I don't think it's necessary, because neither one of y'all are going into partnership together.
Right.
You're both contracting, or we're providing your service separately.
Right.
And so y'all aren't really.
Can I interject though? I know that some of the thoughts that are being thought are even to the level of like housing, you know, people at this house, right? Versus, and I think sharing resources, if it's something we can do, is something we should look into. But fire services funds are paying for this house to run. And so I think that's, I don't know, does that
So
make more sense?
the other thought on the other side of the coin is that we're talking about y'all putting an apparatus at our station to help out
Exactly,
with
that's why I'm
ISO.
wondering about an
So
interlocal.
we're sharing facilities, but we're not sharing funding.
I only want to do it legally.
We'll find, I'll visit with Ken to see.
Yeah, maybe a
because-
question.
Because the dual, what happens a lot across the state is two ESDs, a fire, so take ESD1 for example. We're one ESD that provides fire and EMS, okay?
Right.
What's happening across the state when people are doing that, they're going, well, let's create an overlay ESD so that we can double our funding. But it's still the same department and that those two all work together. So what's happening, even though you've operated separately for years and years,
Right.
is consistent across the state. So I'll visit with Ken on whether that's a necessity because you're both providing emergency. So ESDs are ESDs, okay? And technically, as ESD2, you could create your own EMS agency. You technically could because they're emergency services funds.
Right.
So I'll visit and I'll get back with you on
Because
it.
I just know enough to know that these are questions that maybe should be
Sure.
asked. I don't
No,
know
I
enough to
appreciate it.
answer the questions, but I
You
know
know,
enough
it's,
to know.
and it's good for you because I see it as a married service. And so when I've dealt with both ESDs, it's a married service, fire and EMS now. But I think we do need to clear it up and I'll visit with Ken when,
And I'm with you, if it's legal, it's a great idea.
Exactly, I love the
I mean,
idea.
they need to,
Do it right.
they work together already, but, you know, and the more they can work together, the better.
I'll
Yeah.
verify.
I think some of the concern that I've heard is that my house is in ESD2, but I'm not in ESD4's service district. So why am I paying for their ambulance to sit over here, or why am I paying for their ambulance? I kept telling them that we're working on getting a...
They're all in ESD4's service district.
So
Okay.
ESD4 covers the whole area.
We cover the whole area. Y'all.
But it may not be in
ESD2 covers
two.
half the territory.
Right,
So to be clear, it's a very narrow-minded thinking.
right.
And so, and I know that's aggressive, and if someone gets their feelings hurt, I don't mean it personally, but I cannot grasp for me to understand that because someone drew an imaginary line on a map and said, this is our imaginary line, that we go, well, you're on the other side of the fence. It's very narrow-minded thinking. And they just don't understand it.
Well, that's when you look at them and say, so if your house is burning down and Devine doesn't have enough water, you don't want Natalia to show up and help you?
Well, I think too, I mean, we gotta stop and think
But I do
that,
want to answer the questions, like if there's a legitimate question, if it's just a gripe, yeah, I understand people don't like change. But if there's a question about legalities, we will definitely get it answered.
Like I said, the purpose of me doing that was, I just felt like there's a lot of things that are be happening as the up and coming months, and then we're moving into this journey together. I think it's a great positive thing. We're seeing that already, and I just think there's some things that we possibly could discuss and talk about rather than trying to do it on our monthly meetings.
especially since ESD4.
And then
will
part,
officially be-
again, trying to cross the aisle and bringing 2 and 4 together to the point that we can talk about these things and sharing some of this.
I like the idea.
And we're trying to make our services jointly much better.
Right.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
The
And
goal
that-
is to protect the citizens of Devine and
Absolutely.
Natalia. And that's what we're trying to do.
I think we can best do that by having 2 liaisons from each.
Yeah, just
to
have a
work things
working
out.
group so that we can move forward
Yes.
with all the ideas that we have.
Right. I like it.
All right.
Do you want to make a motion to form something like that, or do we need to? Do we need to make a motion to form something like that?
So I would tell you legally, you don't need one, but to have that recorded that you care enough to create that, I think that's you're not doing yourself wrong by having a formal motion to say we want to create.
Right, yeah, it's not gonna hurt anything. Do you want to make a motion on that? That was your
The
baby?
verbiage that we need to use. I make a motion to approve, I make a motion to initiate a joint committee with ESD4 and Battalion Chief Charles Howard to discuss and make recommendations to both boards regarding coordination of facilities and equipment.
All right, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, regarding salvage of the Ford Explorer, I don't know much about this.
You skipped it.
Okay. So, you've got the old
yeah, we
black
did.
Ford Explorer, my understanding the motor's blown in it. So it's salvage. And the board has to technically declare it salvage, and if you would like, we can dispose of it via an auction, which is the legal way to attempt to dispose of salvage. We already have an auction account set up, so we'll auction it off, salvage it, and then whatever revenue we get, we'll either provide it to you or show you where it's at and be part of the contract or interlocal. I just think it needs to be out of here and get off the insurance.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
But that's, legally, you have to declare it salvage. And so
Okay.
the motion would be to declare that a salvage and authorized disposal via ESD1's auction process.
There you go, Ken.
I make a motion to salvage the Ford Explorer with the blown motor.
You know what year?
I'm sorry?
What year is it, so you can put that in the motion?
I don't know.
Anybody?
Is it a 13?
I think it's a
18?
I guess it doesn't matter if that's the only one we have.
Yeah, it's the only one we
All
have.
right. All right, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
C. You skipped C.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, repair or replace air compressor and security options.
We already talked about.
Talked about security options, so compressor, air compressors, no bueno?
So I want to ask a question on that I just don't know about. I was told it's a loaner, the one we have in that bay,
Cascade.
Cascade.
We heard, I thought it was from y'all,
No,
that they borrowed it from y'all.
no.
Scott, who's it borrowed from?
It's a loaner from Morton and Morrow.
Is that something we're paying for monthly or just they're allowing us to use
We're
it?
paying quarterly for a test.
Quarterly air sampling.
Air sampling, yeah, we have to do that.
So they're just giving it to us to use?
Yes, while they were working on the 3 estimates to either rebuild, refurbish, or replace. And I think the 3 quotes, you have them, Chief?
Yeah, we
I
have.
got them.
How long have we had it if we?
It's been a few months, ma'am.
How long?
It's been a few months.
Been a few months.
We've been paying for the testing since, at least since December.
And the quarterly air sampling is a requirement regardless of the Cascade system that's back there.
So even the loaner, you have to do the testing on the loaner
Just
too.
I understand that, but, so we had one before that?
Of course,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. I just-
Yeah, it blew apart.
Yeah.
All right, so you want me to start high or low?
Flip a switch.
Let's start high.
Start high, that way we can double up.
Quotes last month. You
This is
Well, I
one of
know
those
it's-
days for them.
Go ahead.
So brand new, $35,000 for a new Cascade system.
Is that complete,
That's everything. you
2
need.
tanks, contained,
It's fully contained, everything you need.
manifold on the wall, and the storage tanks,
It'll be built-in manifold.
a built-in manifold. And it'll also include the 4,800 PSI tanks?
6,000.
Oh, 6,000, okay.
Okay, 35,000.
Yep. So that's that one. You have the option of used, which if this was gonna be something y'all were interested in, that'd probably be my go-to, is 16,750. Or the one you already have that just needs to be worked on, $9,800.
It's the one for 13,000. It says a block, air block. Did you have that one?
Yes. That's just replacing that that's on the wall.
And in your professional opinion, your recommendation is what?
15,000.
Is that one refurbished, whereas a repair would only be the particular thing that's wrong with ours.
Yep. So, I mean, those are the options.
So the
Yeah.
used, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We have the loaner right now that works. Went over it pretty well. Everything works, we just need the attachment to fill our bottles. But that is a loaner for, in order to have that one repaired. So
Yeah. Does the company that's loaned it to us provide a quote? Is that from
That's the
them?
quotes.
That's
Those are all
Yeah.
from them, yeah. So what's your, I mean, why buy a used one for 16 versus get one fixed for 9? What are we thinking it's just wore out and it's gonna break? Scott's got his hand up.
That's a 20+ year.
Yeah, it's old.
Oh, okay.
It was mounted in a trailer, if I'm not mistaken,
It came
for a
from the
while.
station, so it's.
Oh, okay. It's been around a long time.
Leg,
Okay.
There's
yes,
a-
sir.
The used one or the new one, I mean, it comes with a cabinet that's closable, that's blast
Rated.
rated, so.
So is this the same company that ESD1 uses?
Yes.
Or- Okay, so.
So the problem with the one you have out there is it's just got a metal box that's sitting there that you put your bottles in with no protection for anything.
Homemade. Make sure you say that, it's homemade. We made it.
So you pay $7,000 more for something that's essentially refurbished. Do you know what year the
So it's, I would not, if it's homemade, that scares me, just because of safety.
Yeah,
So I'm.
I don't like the idea of refurbishing that one anymore.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I will. What's the difference on the new one and the used one, refurbished one? What were the pros and cons to, I mean,
About 15 grand.
well, I understand that part.
15 reasons,
What more are we getting with
15,000 reasons.
35,000 versus a 1,600? Yeah, no,
You're getting turnkey,
okay.
full system, new bottles, everything.
With the new one
Warranty?
for 35.
What kind, yeah, that's, what kind of warranty we get with new versus used or, yeah, refurbished?
So the one for
Okay.
the one for 16,000, that does not come with bottles? Will that be just replacing the unit? Ooh, no. We gotta, you'd have to go out there and look at it. I mean, the bottles, well, I think the bottles are still certified
That's what
for a little while longer, but that manifold system, that's so antiquated. I don't see us putting money into a new cabinet and compressor and everything and still having that manifold system on the wall in those old bottles.
And like I said, I've only been here a month, so I've never seen the one that you have that needs to be repaired.
So it's operational right now?
It is.
Can we,
Well, the loaner's operational.
no loaner is operational, like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm getting at is, okay, you make a valid point, you've only been here a few weeks. Can you dive into that a little bit more, possibly get some other quotes or get some type of, figure out some of the items and then come back to us?
Sure.
Or is this something that we need to make a decision on tonight?
We're good.
I think we need to do that.
We talked about the bottles that are
Yeah.
currently there. How many PSI? Was that 4,000
You can pressure up to 6,000 off those bottles.
on those bottles? But the
So
manifold,
what you
maybe
need,
not?
4,500 for your bottles.
Okay.
We'll research it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, okay, that's great.
Abby, I'll let you talk about the website and posting.
Oh, yes.
That's the last item.
Absolutely. So, we are wanting to just
There's something I already
formally
forgot.
take action to post our agendas to our website instead of posting to the county clerk's office, just because posting to the county clerk's office does cost us $2 a month, which isn't exorbitant, but it's just less efficient to have to post to the county clerk's office. We actually have a few more hours that we can work on our agenda and be able to post to our website. And then also, if we post to the county clerk's office, people would have to go to the county clerk's office in person to see that. Whereas if we post to our website, which we're gonna need to do anyway, if we have a website, we have to post to our website. You'll know exactly where to look for it and you'll know when it'll be posted by. So we just wanted to take official action to change that procedure.
Well, I think you should make that motion.
I do.
I will make a motion to update agenda posting procedure to website only once escrow account with the county is depleted. There's only about $4 left in that account. So 2 more months, I'll be out of money.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, we need to acknowledge the next meeting. It should be November 18th.
Is that during Thanksgiving break or? No, it's not.
No, it's a week before.
Week before.
The week
yeah.
before?
Well, is it? Yeah, 'cause Thanksgiving is the 27th, yeah.
That's my
Okay.
birthday.
All right, November 18th, same time, same place. Are y'all still good with 7, or does anybody that, I mean,
7th works for me.
it works for you?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want to do anything
Gives me
earlier?
time to
I was
get
just gonna
home.
open the door for somebody who wanted it earlier if they thought they could be here.
That gives me time to get home, shower, and do my hair.
Dinner on the table.
Yeah, with your hair
Yeah.
takes so much time.
I mean, I didn't leave the office till 6 o'clock tonight, so.
Okay, all right, with that, I'll accept a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries.
I have things that need to be signed, guys.
Don't run off.
I'm running. Oh.